Today is Thursday, October 24th, 2024, and welcome to Pro Truth and Provoking Thought Podcast. Now, in this video, I don't have nothing to say because it's pretty self-explanatory.
Support reparations for black people. Well, listen, again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination and segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal but still exists and is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. And in particular, black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the LIFT Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit black children, black families, black homeowners, because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, and we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this. Any policy that will benefit black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No, because whatever benefits that black family will benefit that community and society as a whole and the country. Right?
Recent polls have shown Harris losing support from black men. She addressed the possibility of reparations for slavery. Let's watch.
But black Americans are heavily asked to vote Democrat in every election for over half a century, with very little in return. What are your plans to address these very important issues and change that narrative?
Thank you, Z.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you for your work. So to your point, yes, I am running to be a president for all Americans. That being said, I do have clear eyes about the disparities that exist and the context in which they exist, meaning history, to your point. So my agenda, well, first of all, on the point of reparations, it has to be studied. There's no question about that. And I've been very clear about that position.
But in the area of reparations for descendants of Africans enslaved, if you elected president, would you sign that bill if it came across your desk?
When I am elected president, I will sign that bill.
My question to you is, what's your stance on reparations? We all know that America became great, off the backs of free black labor. How progressive are you on making it a priority and righting America's wrongs? It's understood that you are running for president for all people of America. Asking for specifics for black communities doesn't mean don't do for others, but black Americans are heavily asked to vote Democrat in every election for over half a century, with very little in return. What are your plans to address these very important issues and change that narrative?
Thank you, Z.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you for your work. So to your point, yes, I am running to be a president for all Americans. That being said, I do have clear eyes about the disparities that exist and the context in which they exist, meaning history, to your point. So my agenda, well, first of all, on the point of reparations, it has to be studied. There's no question about that. And I've been very clear about that position.
It has to be studied, she says. Sounds like a note to me. So-called black people. First of all, we're not black people. Black is a color, not an ethnicity. We are not black people. We are Israelites. Hebrews by bloodline, Israelites by nationality. We were emancipated from slavery in 1865. If we were going to get reparations, we would have gotten them by now. We're not going to get them. They don't want to give it to us. You got to understand who we are. Immigrants come over to this country. Migrants, immigrants, illegals, and they get all these benefits. And we've gotten absolutely nothing. And we need to stop letting these people play in our face. Because if we was going to get reparations, we would have gotten them by now. We're not going to get them. And what I have to say to so-called black people is stop voting for parties who cannot pay us in retrospect for what our ancestors have did for this country. Our ancestors built this country and made America what it is today. If it had not been for the free labor of slaves, this country called the US of A would not be what it is today. And that is a known fact. So stop voting for these parties who are not going to pay us for what our ancestors did for free. The Bible says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, I will hear from them from heaven and heal their land and forgive their sins. What you don't understand is that there's a group of people who stole our identity, who stole our history, and who whitewashed it. And they have taken on our identity and has deceived the whole world into thinking that they are God's chosen people, and they are not his people. But the real Israelites, we are a stiff-necked, a hard-headed, and a rebellious people, and we refused to repent. And that is why the Most High would not allow us to be recompensed and receive reparations from our oppressors. Yahuwah, who the world refers to as God and Lord, he does not bless disobedience. But I am telling you what the problem is and the reason why we have not received reparations and the reason why we will not. But we, the real children of Israel, are still up under that binding perpetual covenant that our ancestors made when Moses led us out of Egypt. I didn't mean to come on here and preach to y'all today, but it needs to be said. This was supposed to be a short and sweet video, but I encourage you to read the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28 if you haven't. Kamala Harris is not a black woman. She only allowed people to believe that she's black because she wanted our vote. She's deceitful, she's wicked, and she wants to terminate our babies in the womb. She's a wicked individual, and she's not to be trusted. And black people, she is not your friend. I'm not a Trump supporter, but I can respect Donald Trump. Kamala she's the worst kind because she's deceitful. She poses as a friend, knowing that she's an enemy to us. And that's the worst kind. This woman went so far as to stoop so low that she took a image of a black woman and put it in her book and said that that was her grandmother, knowing darn well that that's not her grandma. Black people, y'all better wake up and buy yourself a clue. And all of these celebrities that I have pictured in this photo, they are gatekeepers. They pacify their own people. They are sellouts. They are bought and paid puppets who are only looking out for themselves. They don't care nothing about their community. They don't care nothing about the black community. If they did, they wouldn't sell our people out for money. That's the worst kind. They are an enemy to their own people. They are a traitor to their race. D.L. Hughley, Ricky Smiley, Steve Harvey, Meg Thee Stallion, Jamal Bryant, all of them. They are gatekeepers. Sellouts.
And then remember, I got invited to do the interview with her. They wanted to pay me $15K for Kamala Harris a couple months ago. So remember, some people were saying, well, did he make that up? I didn't make it up. They texted me and said we wanted to pay, and they was after me for a while. And I said, listen, it got to be live. They wanted an interview, but I wanted it live. You're not going to pre-record it and splice it because I know how y'all crackers move. So I said, live interview, straight to the people. I don't want your money. I ain't for sale. I think they wanted to test to see if I was a money-hungry Negro. And I said, nah, let's do it. And they never called me back because they wasn't going to let her answer my questions live because she wouldn't have any answers. And I'm going to tell you this. This is what black people are not paying attention to. If Kamala Harris wins, we really going to catch hell. You know why? She going to make us pay for everybody who exposed the fact that she was never black. Do you feel me? She has a grudge and an axe to grind. Black people ain't getting shit if Kamala Harris get elected. You weren't going to get it anyway. Stay with me. Yeah. But it was a neutral neglect. You feel me? That would have been a benign, thank you. It would have been a benign neglect. Now it's a spiteful neglect. I'm going to get you ninjas back for exposing the fact that I was never black. Black people ain't going to get nothing.
Let me explain something to you. And I'm speaking to the black community. I have to. I'm speaking to the black community, and I'm going to keep it a buck. If you, in your heart, feel like, oh, they're going to put up Kamala, I'm going to vote for Kamala, you are telling me how ignorant you are when it comes to politics. Not as a person, because just because you are ignorant according to politics doesn't mean you're an ignorant person, but you are very ignorant according to politics. And I'm going to tell you why. And a lot of people will get offended, but I don't care. I'm going to be honest with you, okay? Kamala, number one, has never been for the black community. I want you to understand something. Kamala has played a part, just like Joe Biden, in persecuting and putting African-American people in jail by the droves. Droves, okay? When it comes to drug crime, she has treated drug crime as if it was murder, okay? And then on top of that, let me explain something to you. The only reason why Kamala is a vice president in the first place is because she's black. It is not because she is qualified. It is not because she is competent. It is because she's black. Now, why should you be offended? You would think, oh, yeah, we black people. We supposed to support our black folk. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, let me explain something to you. You should be offended beyond report because of the fact that somebody is willing to put someone in a seat for their color, even when they're not qualified to do a favor for you. Let me explain to you how the last 4 years have went. Up 3, coming into this 4. Let me explain something to you. So for the first three years, Kamala has not cared about the black community. Okay? Kamala and Biden have been doing everything in their power to support illegal immigrants. They have been coming in this country. They're getting your benefits. They putting their kids, these illegal immigrants are going into your kids' schools. They in the hood. They're taking over. You're no longer relevant. They're taking over, okay? But then on top of that, okay, they're giving them money. They're giving them credit cards. I mean, they're booking them, taking them. You got immigrants coming straight out of Mexico living better than you did, and your ancestors done built this country up. Boo. Let me explain something to you. That's how valuable you are to the Democrat community, okay? But now, boom, year 4. It's election time. Y'all, we ain't really did nothing for these niggas. I guess we got to do something. Let's call up Kirk Franklin, and he comes to the White House. Kirk Franklin went on that stage with them tight shorts or tight suit and that extra low button top that he wears on stage. And he danced, and he got a check. And that was for you. They paid him to please you. That's how important you are. When Hillary wants to campaign, she don't actually focus on issues in the black community that are needed. She says, oh, I got hot sauce in my bag, boo. Are you pandering to us? Is it working? Oh, y'all forget. Your memory is terrible. Y'all forget. She said, is it working? That's how valuable you are as a vote that she don't even got to invest to get your vote. She don't even have to work and put the agenda in and start to show proof to get your vote. Black woman, black man, you so special to be black. You so special to be black that you don't even get no benefits for it. We'll just put Kirk Franklin in and let him dance for the day. That'll do. Oh, the Mexicans, we're going to invest in them. We're going to have them come from the border. We're going to do everything in our power for them. But for you niggas over there, y'all good. Let me explain something to you. Y'all don't understand the amount of racism that you co-sign. You look crazy. These people see you as animals and dogs. They tell you it's raining and are pissing on your head. And you sit there and you let them. And it blows my mind. Okay? Blows my mind. Let me explain something to you. I have never in my life dealt with racism. People are like, oh, technically it's systematic. Systematic racism means there's supposed to be racism there in the system, but you can't see it because it's so intertwined in the system. Let me explain something to you. I did not experience racism until the day Joe Biden used Letitia James, a black attorney general, along with Damian Williams, a black FBI head of FBI agency, and they indicted me for standing against the abortion murder of black kids. Do you know the agent that they used to investigate me was a black man? He has an African name. Do you know that they used their tokens to go after black people that got out of line? They used the guys in the house in line cleaning the bathroom to get the ones out on the field trying to wake people up to know that this is slavery and this is bondage. Do you know that? Do you know that Kamala is a token? Do you know that nobody wanted to endorse her? Not even Obama wanted to endorse her because she's incompetent. Nobody wanted her in the position, but they did it because she was black. That's an insult. That means you're not intelligent enough. That means you're not quick enough. That means you're not smart enough. That means you're not even equipped. You're just black. And it works. And no, it's not benefiting the entire black community. No. Let's just put a token in. Because that's enough of them. They'll struggle to the end as long as they can look up at that token for the rest of their life. How? Listen, I promise you I wasn't going to say nothing. That's DoorDash right there. I wasn't going to say nothing. But you might have to go to the front. I think your food is there. In a second. They dropping it off at the lobby. Let me say something to you. I am so tired of the black community and y'all low standards. The standards are so low. You are so low in your standards, even in your vote, that we are looked at as a joke. Do you understand other communities are coming in and laughing at us? You have Russians and Ukrainians and people from all these different countries coming in. They're getting trade jobs. They're starting businesses. They're buying houses on the block. They've been here for 10 years and we're scrambling to the top. And yet we don't stand for it when it really matters. We just want to see somebody that look like us and we good. Oh, she look like us. That works. That's your standard? That works? Oh, she look like me. She's black. First of all, she's not, but I ain't even gonna go there with you. For your sake, for your peace and comfort, yeah, she's black. But guess what? She don't give a damn about you. She don't give a damn about you. She didn't petition for nothing regarding the black community since she's been up there. But you know what, Kirk Franklin? Pull up. Because you know we ain't really been doing that for 3 years. Go ahead, pull up and sing, dance, twirl. That's what they see y'all as. Dance, twirl, sing, nigga. I'm going to say it straight up because it's a hard thing to hear. But you need to hear it. You're out of line when you speak the gospel of Jesus, when you speak the truth, when you say that abortion is murder, when you say that these things are wrong, when you say that homosexuality is wrong, you are out of line. Who are you to say what's wrong and what's right and who's a true and living God? Go dance. Go dance. Get your leotard, get on stage, put on your heels and shake your butt. Get your long weave, boo. Y'all bragging about who got the longest weave. They over here crossing $1 million transactions under your nose on your dollar. Go dance. Go shake. Go dribble the ball. Go ball out. Go play that basketball, boo. Go hit a foot.
Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but She put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana.
Have you ever smoked?
I have.
Okay. Like in
And
college,
I inhale. I did inhale.
Okay.
It was a long time ago.
She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
I can charge someone with a misdemeanor, the lowest level offense possible. And by virtue of that swipe of my pen, you will have to go to a courthouse and stand in line. You will have to come out of pocket and hire an attorney. You may get arrested for a few hours. You will be embarrassed in your community. You will miss time from coming onto the Google campus. All because with the swipe of my pen, I've charged you with a crime, which I may choose to dismiss 2 weeks later. It's an incredible amount of power. And you want to make sure that the people who have this kind of power are taking seriously.
People have an agenda, and their agenda, one of the things is to get rid of the church, to have abortion on demand, to the promotion of all things LGBTQ. You know, Kamala Harris, she's running for the vice presidency. I call her Miss Lock Up a Brother, for when she was the AG in California, a Negro knew, a black man knew that he was dead in the water. He was dead in the water. Matter of fact, you don't need a trial. You might well go to jail if you appear before her, because she took pride in locking up black folk. And now all of a sudden she's trying to be sister girl. I'm telling you, check out her record. She locked us up left and right. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Yes, you did, Kamala. Pamela, however I should pronounce it, you did. And now we're supposed to forget all that stuff. And she boasted in California that she was one of the first. I got the tape queued, but my time's up to date. One of the first I showed you Thursday night to perform a same-sex marriage. Y'all want to see it? You want to see it? Let it rip.
Let the rings exchanged and the vows declared symbolize your commitment, sincerity, and affection.
Yeah.
And may your love never falter.
May your love never falter.
By virtue of the power and authority vested in me by the state of California, I now declare you spouses for life.
That is who's supposed to deliver us. Now, are you crazy? I like what Maya Angelou said. She said, when people show you who they are, believe them. That's Kamala. And let me tell you, anybody who's trying to turn America into Sodom and Gomorrah is not good for the nation, she's not good for the state, and she ain't good for black folk.
Ask you about Kamala Harris. How you feel about her?
She's a piece of shit. I was in California. She lacked professional competence, and she worked on it by hiking up her hemline when she needed influence rather than researching. I was out in California for 15 years doing my show when she was at her peak, and she had a reputation amongst the trial lawyers of being lazy. She just hike her skirt up and try to flirt, and she wasn't that good in the courtroom, if not pretty bad in the courtroom.
And being a friend, I think, are two different things. I think there are many whites who act friendly toward Negroes. A fox acts friendly toward the lamb. And usually the fox is the one who ends up with the lamb chop on his plate. The wolf doesn't act friendly, and therefore the wolf has more difficulty in getting the lamb chop in his plate.
I'd like to point out, though, that...
I say that because it is usually if you study the structure of the Negro community, economically, politically, civically, psychologically, and otherwise, it's controlled by the white liberal, who usually poses as the friend of the Negro, who actually differs from the white conservative in the same way that the fox differs from the wolf. I'm suspicious of whites who join Negroes and always have to be in the lead, who always have to be the head, who always have to be at the top.
And so let me just say welcome, everybody. Welcome to the first ever hip-hop house party at the home of the Vice President of the United States. Come on.